to provide a weekend of positive, celebrity-driven events to encourage the uplifting of the Newark community. In addition to provide a youth scholarship opportunity, the Second Chance Literacy Scholarship on this day. Mind you, 50% of the proceeds today will be going to that literacy scholarship. So thank you.
Definitely, just to piggyback on that, first I want to say, J.D. Williams was born and raised in North. I'm very proud of home and as we all are, and we're just very proud to be able to do this at home. Like I said, we want to definitely thank all the people that came out to show love. So y'all can give it up for the celebrities that came out and spent time with us and kick it with us and talk about youth. Shout out to Matt and Mia and the whole team, because like Craig said, they did most of the work, if not all of the work, and we really appreciate it. It was an effort, but we want to say we're proud of y'all. We hope that we can do this a lot more every year, and we love y'all, and thank you. Thank you very much. August 26th to the 28th, you know, it was started by me and my homie Craig Langley. It was inspired by the Charlie Mack weekend that he used to do in Philadelphia every year, where he would have, you know, people come out and just, you know, support the city. He would show them the new, you know, buildings and projects that they were doing in the city. We would go visit the youth detention centers, you know, and do this stuff all over the course of a weekend. But it left, I felt good about it because it left the energy on that city that the people would be like, yo, people, we can be that, and those people see us and they can touch us. Out here, like I said, so many people come out of Jersey, particularly out of Newark. You know what I'm saying? So many of us come out of here.
And if you just take a picture of if you just turn the camera and just see like everything that this city encompasses, like yo, you could literally spit on New York. You got an airport, a seaport, all of these things that are like the anchors to a great city.
Bro, we don't just have actors, we have singers, we have some of the most famous politicians, you know what I'm saying? We have some of the most famous artists. I'm talking about, you know, painters and writers, and you know what I'm saying? We got some
Newark
is crazy. Newark is crazy with that. And the thing is that first off, not to say we as a city don't have the pride in that, but we don't express that to the kids enough to where they grow up feeling like, oh, Newark is dope. You know what I'm saying? Like my daughter is gonna grow up very proud of Newark. I make sure she's proud of her city. I'm always telling her who's coming from here, who's doing what. We go down to the museum, we go to the library, we check out history books. I'm always telling her about, you know, like all of this stuff. You know, M&M's was started in Newark. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like so much stuff came from Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah, M&M shot a video a couple of years.
No, I ain't talking about Eminem the rapper.
I know you.
So all that and Eminem came from Newark. You know what I'm saying? He came through. But yeah, man, it's so much going on here that, you know, like the kids, the youth need to have that pride and that belief that it happens. Like that's one of the main reasons people say sometimes I'm too accessible, because I'm always walking around downtown. You know what I'm saying? I'm always walking around. People say I'm too accessible, but for me, I mean, I want to give up that accessibility. You know what I'm saying? I want to give that up because I don't see anybody else out here, you know what I'm saying, touching the kids and talking to the kids and making the kids be like, you know what? I know it's some kids somewhere that's like, you know what? I could be on TV because I see that dude JD all the time. You know what I'm saying? He do it. Absolutely. I could do it, and he still walks around. You don't have to. You don't all of a sudden get famous or get a job and then move to California and never come back. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do that.
Look what happened to you today. You know, from the time that I picked you up, a guy wanted to rent an apartment. He saw you, got excited. Then we went to Chipotle's. The two girls was like that. Then we come in the restaurant. So like it's impactful. You made that person, like that joy that you could bring out of people is what's wonderful. Now when you attach that with financing, because that's one of the things that we missing in our community is true understanding of financing and how it could be broken down in a simplistic way.
Yeah.
And that's what's beautiful about this merger right here. It's like, all right, because I know tons of rappers and people that's in the industry that's struggling financially because acting, singing, it's still ran as a business. Just because you have the talent, you still have to understand the business aspect of it. And that's what I learned working for Warner Music Group in the HR department, payroll department, just seeing how things, people made money from it. I remember one particular invoice, it was from Michelle Branch, and she was going on a Jay Leno show. She was pretty big back then, and her hairstylist got $5,000 for 30 minutes of doing hair. Barbers, I know, coming from Jersey, we was paying $12 for a haircut with a shave. LA, $25.
All day.
$25.
I hated going to get a haircut.
Exactly.
I already don't like getting a haircut, but I hated going to get a haircut in LA because I'm like, yo, there's nothing. You guys are doing nothing different.
Just the fact of where it is.
Yeah, just because I'm over here, it costs $25 for a haircut. How do poor people get their haircut out this motherfucker? Like,
but the good part that showed me was that you don't only have to be in the industry on the stage in order to be successful in it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I know there's something, there's a study, I think Prudential did a study, and it's called the sandwich generation, where one of us has made it in life, but because we're looking forward to help our current family, your wives, your husband, and your children, which is what's first in your life, but your mom's is not good, your dad is not good, your friends is not good, so you're always caught like in a paradigm of life.
Well, so where do I put this, and how do I make this thing better?
That's the sandwich generation. So
no doubt.
I gave the example of the hairstylist that made the $5,000 with Michelle Branch. What that did is show me like, well, listen, if you part of the entourage, the 12, instead of just coming through the pop bottles, listen, learn how to be a typist. Learn how to be a hairstylist, a booking agent, so on and so forth, in order to be successful to the camp. Yeah. Like a lot of people are just around, but like listen, just like if you look at like Floyd Mayweather's camp, everybody
got something to do.
Well,
I mean, if you know anything about me, you know the people that I hang around, that we hang around. You've seen my group pretty much. You know it's real. My circle's tight, it's small, and everybody got something to offer. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is doing what they need to do, and they trying to do something better. You know what I'm saying? So. That's just a personal formula I always believed in, but yes, people in general need to follow that.
And we can teach that. I know 2 years ago you and I have started the acting classes, the music classes, the makeup artist classes. Like these are some of the things that we could bring to public.
I did those, right?
Right. I know.
Those joints, yeah. And we got a school. We trying to start a school. We got a school going with the city, but it's like they just dragging their feet, but. We got a school with the city right now as far as acting, financial advice, photography, set building, and all that. So, we gonna call you in as an instructor. I was already thinking of that before, but just so you know, yeah, we started that whole shit. It was it's always a hustle. You know what I'm saying? You gotta hustle, and like you were saying too, we got so much stuff, so much talent, and so many resources that we need to put together and use. But people don't know how to come together.
All it is just kind of like really retraining your mind. Yeah. Like I tell a lot of people, man, don't look at a boarded house. To me, a boarded up house looks better than a mansion. I'm not making any money off that mansion, but that boarded up house, I know if I buy it, fix it, I'm creating jobs in the community, cutting down on the carbon footprint, giving the people a sense of self-worth. That's what you do when you take, it's just like clay. When we were kids in school, you would take something ugly and redo it. One of my favorite parts of doing houses is the basement and attics, to bring utilization throughout the entire house. So once people change the mindset of, just simple things as littering. That's one thing I can say about the city of Baltimore when I went. It's a very clean city, even though it's a poor city.
Yeah.
But like a lot of us, we just take trash and throw it out. Just some of the simple retraining of the mind and just start seeing the value of where you're walking on.
We was just talking about that in the car about how people don't, when you don't have anything to appreciate in the first place, you don't learn how to appreciate things. And like you said, you see North is having a renaissance. We're rebuilding a lot of stuff. We're getting new signs, new roads. Whole Foods is coming in, and there's all these places that are popping up. We got the Nike store, we got Chipotle now. It's all of these things that now people have to learn to appreciate, because now we're getting on that level to where we're gonna have things. We're gonna have stuff, and so this generation of Norkers is gonna have to grow up and learn and grow up appreciating things. And then take that back to their house. you know, take that back to their block and their neighborhood.
That's right.
And it's gonna spread out, but at the same time, they still gotta fight not losing the house in their neighborhood.
Gentrification.
But like you said, but once we retrain our mind, then we can address the other problems instead of just sitting and letting something happen to us.
That's
you
right.
know. So back to the original thing of us expanding our mind. I like to touch the people. I like the people to see me. I like the kids to think that, you know, being an actor or being in the industry period is possible. You know what I'm saying? You know, we got so many rappers that come from here and even, you know, it's a lot of kids that live here that have never been to New York. You know, there are a lot of people who grow up here. New York is 15, 20 minutes away, and they never get out there until they're in their 20s. Some people never get out there until their 20s, and it blows their mind because then there's so many different. Look, I got friends, and it's people that I know that are in their mid 20s, early 30s that don't know any Asian people. You know, don't know any white people. Don't know anybody but people from North. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, nah. I'm like, no. People be that way and they're like, nah, I ain't never seen no white person do that. And I'm like, you ain't been nowhere. Like, let's go somewhere. Let's do something.
Right.
But you know, some people they just don't.
That's a valid point, right?
You know, like some people don't get to see anything. And so, like we said, the thing is to open up the minds, retrain the mind, and expose the people. Expose the people. Well, even some people. Even with education, like you're gonna learn.
Education.
You're gonna learn.
Schooling,
no, I'm saying, but you can learn. You can learn any type of way, but you got to be exposed to it first. You know what I'm saying? Because some people don't like to learn. You know, some people don't want to know that their brains are working. Right. Kanye West just said, "I don't like to think." I mean, I get what he's saying, but you don't say that on the platform. You know, you say that to your friends in a room of 5 people. Right. You don't say that when 5 million people are going to hear you that don't know you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And they be like, oh, there's no need to think.
Yeah, the same thing. But with this, we gotta expose the people, expose our people to the stuff that we have been fortunate enough to be exposed to. Like I said, that's one of the main reasons why I stay walking around downtown. And my friends hate it, but I mean, I see the kids. You know what I'm saying? I see the look on them. I see how they behave. Like I like it when kids give me shit. They're like, yo, I could do what you do. Right. I want them to feel that way. Like, come on, let's go, do it. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't like when his kids looking at me like, I get sad when a kid is like, you know, like so beyond not being impressed with what I do, but it's just to them it's just something like you're not real. Like you was on TV. Like, wow. Like I don't want a kid to feel that way because a kid from another neighborhood got an advantage over you now because they can stop you in your tracks. Somehow distract you, stop you in your tracks just because you're gonna get sidetracked and amazed by something that you don't need to be amazed by because you can do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's a lot of stuff I be trying to get. And I got kids out here, you know, I got a daughter, but a lot of the kids out here, I love a lot of kids out here.
What we do here is go back.